All right, this is the sump pump discharge hose. And like most discharge hoses, they connect to the outside. Well, this one had a problem. That joint up there started spraying water around in the spring, and it was going to be a heavy rain. So since I was going to be out of the state for a weekend, I came down and adjusted that up, shoved more pipe up into the boot and tightened it down. But while I was away, the bottom of the sump pump hose came off, where it's also connected by a rubber boot. And that allowed some water to accumulate in the basement, which caused another flood. It was only about a foot deep. And so I had to repair the furnace again. Well, although this is a new furnace, so I had to repair the new furnace because it completely quit working. And the reason it quit working is because this circuit board was underwater. And it seemed like it was okay underwater because I could see the little LED still had a display when it was underwater. But when I turned everything off and everything dried out, then when I turned it back on, this display would not light up anymore. So I knew there was a problem. There was a little corrosion around some of these, and you can see on the back here there's, well, maybe you can, it's not great down here, but there's some corrosion around these connectors down here. I thought maybe this 5 amp fuse had blown. I checked that. That was not the issue. So I ordered a new one of these things. And it came in the mail a week or so later. But luckily the temperature was not huge. It wasn't too hot or too cold, and I've been kind of skating along for a while. The paperwork just says one control. That doesn't tell me anything except the part number. Anyway, I got the part number out of the book and matched it up with the pictures. I always like to do that to make sure I'm getting the right one. Took that circuit board off, put the new circuit board on, plugged all the things back in where they were before, and now that works. Now, the hot water heater, since the, let me back this up a little bit. The water was only up to about here, so it hadn't actually touched any of the connectors in there yet. So I opened that back up and turned it on and got it, more or less back together. So now everything is repaired in the basement again, and hopefully a good long time. Now there were a few things that was all my duck heads and stuff that were in that box that got all soaked. So I've had them drying out. But hopefully that is the last straw. Now I do have this additional check valve that I think I'm gonna stick in up here. at some point to say, hey, let's kind of make sure, because luckily when this failed, the sump pump in the other part of the basement also got hung up. Now it didn't fail, but the little float, oops, there, I don't know. The little float that turns it on got stuck, and it didn't float out, so there was, foot water in that basement as well, which is great because that way it didn't pump the water from there into here and flood this side even more. But when I put that check valve in there, that will prevent that from ever happening, even if that is disconnected down below, which is above that check valve. This other check valve will keep pressure from pumping water into here, because that line, they go out and join together and make one discharge line out there. Hey, thanks for watching. That was a really long ramble, but it's been a while. Like and subscribe, you know the drill.